an ex-banker, a teacher, founder of a citizens forum, and most importantly, mother to an 11-year-old. You must be wondering about this weird title here, Our Waste, Our Planet. I know that's not how you envisage our planet to be. But honestly, this is where we are heading to. While I was in the corporate field, I was in this constant search of living a far more sustainable and meaningful life, making conscious choices, and not being driven by a routine. Finally, when my daughter was born in 2011, I got my quintessential break and took the plunge with my husband's support. Not that I got my nirvana. After finishing my chores at home, taking care of my infant, I still had much time left, and I was racking my brains to figure out what more should I do to get my elusive peace. So I decided to teach kids at a nearby school, not really knowing what I was getting into. The very first day of my visit to the colony, I saw this huge settlement living on the fringes of a dumping ground. Men and women were busy rummaging through waste with their bare hands, and their children played on the top of toxic waste heaps, merrily, totally unaware of their future. When a student's mother offered me a cup of tea, I could not have it, simply because of the stench and the filth around. To this day, I am guilty of not being a good guest back then, but it was totally unintentional. This episode disturbed me, and I kept going back to know more about this mountain of a dumping ground. This notorious dumping ground resembles its close cousin in Mumbai, the Deonar dumping ground. It's bang opposite to the historical Durgadi Fort and by the Kalyan Creek. Also happens to be the same site where Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj established the first naval base of our country. Fast forward till 2020, close to 700 metric ton of waste that is collected from the twin cities of Kalyan, Dombivli and the neighboring villages was being dumped here on a daily basis. The fact that even I was contributing to this problem disturbed me, and I had to do something about it. Frequent fires at the dumping ground, toxic waste leaching into the creek water, soaring temperatures due to rising methane gas, none of this seemed to disturb us, the residents, while we went about our jobs. So all of this was very disturbing for me. And I started meeting different agencies, government bodies, municipal corporations, just to figure what should be done to this mounds of years old waste called as legacy waste. As cliche as it may sound, I want to quote the lines from The Alchemist. When you want something, all the universe conspires to help you achieve it. And that's exactly what was happening, as if a grand design was unfolding on its own. On one such exploratory journeys, I met my mentor, Srinivas Ghanekar, who was fighting various civic issues since the 90s. Under his guidance, we established a civic citizens forum, which is not only into raising civic concerns, but also raising awareness among citizens, giving policy reforms to government bodies. Around the same time, I was getting calls from different housing societies to train them into various aspects of waste management. And as destiny would have it, one of the leading schools in the country offered me an interesting job role. And this institution was already into numerous sustainable practices, including waste management. So that's the reason I believe in this. Just like most cities in India, my local municipal corporation was also struggling with waste management. Despite numerous letters, protests, appeals, nothing concrete was materializing. It was not only our forum, different citizen cohorts were also building pressure, but it was not helping. So finally in 2018, a few of us from the forum decided to go on a hunger strike. It went on for 5 days to escalate various civic issues, including permanent closure of this dumping ground. Finally, the corporation relented and gave us a 2-acre area on the dumping ground to work upon. They wanted us to demonstrate our proposed zero-cost methodology and reclaim this site. So we started using a culture called as waste decomposer, which is a product of the National Center of Organic Farming, a government body. We multiplied this culture using water from the adjacent sewage treatment plant and would spray it on this mound every day. Simultaneously, a team of 10 to 12 waste workers would segregate plastic and dry waste, and this process went on for close to 70 days. At the end of it, we were able to reduce the height of the dumping ground by 16 feet, much to everyone's surprise. The process eventually stopped due to lack of adequate support, but luckily, in 2020, the dumping ground was declared shut due to efforts of organizations like ours. Unfortunately, 2 more processing sites were opened in the city, and I guess this will remain the story in most cities across our country unless we the citizens do something about it. Now, during my training sessions, I find that most educated people in the cities have very strong sentiments about holistic waste management practices. But I get responses like segregation, I have no time. Maybe when I retire. 2 dustbins, really? Isn't composting messy with worms and all? All this led us to think, and after a lot of effort and R&D, we came up with a solution. A 3 to 5 minute capsule on waste management that helps you segregate, makes it a very easy and doable job in your day. But before I share that capsule, I want to share an interesting learning experience I had at the dumping ground. Nature is so potent despite the challenges we throw at it. In most cities, the practice is to throw all the waste in a plastic bag and throw it away. Now this disturbs the natural decomposing process and the garbage inside starts rotting, releasing a lot of methane, which is one of the most dangerous greenhouse gases. In fact, one of the major contributors to global warming. But what I saw at the dumping ground was all this plastic had disintegrated over a span of years and the matter inside had also got composted. Nature's power indeed, which meant we are the ones delaying it. So naturally, the first step of the capsule is avoid dustbin liners please. And if you must use them, try to reuse as many times as possible. And finally, once you are done, just clean, dry and dispose it properly in dry waste. This one single step will accelerate the rate of decomposing at open landfill sites by 40%. If I have to speak about plastic waste, you all know, right? Plastic takes anywhere between 10 to 20 years to disintegrate. And even if it does, turns into microplastics which will eventually find its way into our food chain and water bodies. Some food for thought day. The second step of the capsule is do not waste food. I have to stress on this. You know, 73% of waste generated in Mumbai alone is organic waste, which is food waste, vegetable peels, fruit peels and all of that. My humble request, food should never land up in waste. India alone accounts for 68.8 million tons of food wastage annually, which means 50 kg per person annually. Please cook or order the amount of food that you will responsibly finish or share. Organic waste is very easy to compost and you can learn that quite easily. But if you don't want to do it at home, fair enough. At least take the lead, initiative to have a common composting facility at your complex or in your locality. It's very much doable. Unfortunately, many housing complexes have taken the lead, but what I see is It fails for some or the other reason, and this organic waste eventually finds its way back to the dumping ground. Now just imagine if every house in this country decided that no organic waste will go out of their homes, only dry waste will go out of their homes, we will be able to meet all the climate goals that India has committed at the COP meets in no time. Interesting, right? Worth a thought. The third step, no need of a second dustbin to store your dry waste. That is, if you don't have already one. Keep it simple. Dry waste is something you can store for more than a year if you know how to do it. Just ensure that every packet of processed food, chocolate, groceries that enters your home is clean and bright. This includes Tetra packs, juice containers, milk and curd containers, all of that. What I do is I keep a vessel filled with water, I dip and clean all these packs. Don't wash them under running water, please. And then I leave it overnight to dry over the kitchen counter. Next day, I fold them as small as possible and push it in a clean packet of bread or any other plastic cover which has a narrow mouth. Don't put it in a plastic cover which has a wide mouth, because then it tends to spread and takes more storage space. Which means, does this sound like really a lot? No, it is not. Believe me, it won't even take more than 3 to 5 minutes of your day's time. It's definitely doable. In fact, a cousin of mine was so inspired by this that he and his wife stored over a year's dry waste in the most compact form. They did not have regular dry waste collections at their place, which means this is very much doable and not dream. The last category is once in a while waste. Most waste is not even as frequent as you think. All you have to do is just be conscious while disposing it. For instance, I have a plastic container in which I put all my metal waste that's generated at home. For example, rusted hooks, nails, metal base of tea light candles, anything you can think of. All of this, and this magic container does not fill even in 6 months. And once it does, it just goes off along with dry waste. Broken glass again, once or twice a year maybe, but once when it comes out, just wrap it in a newspaper, scribble as broken glass so that the waste workers handle it carefully. There are no accidents. Batteries, another dangerous thing. Please tape it at both ends before you discard it. I put it in a container before I give it off. This is to ensure there is no toxic leaching and groundwater contamination. Bio-waste, your hair, nails, used medical supplies, sanitary napkins, diapers, all of it can go in a paper bag. Just mark it as sanitary waste. So that again, we ensure safety of the waste workers who are handling it. They are also humans. All these are once in a while waste. Needs your conscious thinking. Personally, I have made the transition to menstrual cups and cloth pads, so that much less of a sanitary waste for me. Not only that, my household has bid farewell to chemical cleaning agents, toiletries. We don't use it anymore. We have switched over to enzyme-based natural variants. Now I know that most environmental agencies say the single major contributor of river pollution in cities is domestic sewage water. So does one house doing it help? Not really. It is what you would want to think, but I want to believe it does. And I know there are many of you out there who think the same and would want to do the same. It's time we start. Now, if all this was a concern to you, but was never your priority, let me tell you, it's time to make it. We are running out of open spaces in cities and we cannot afford to have more dumping grounds. Most cities have already turned into furnaces. Aren't you experiencing it? How much more of polluted sewage water can our rivers take in? And what are we leaving behind for our children? The United Nations IPCC Working Committee 3 report goes on to say that most coastal regions, including island nations and parts of major cities, face a submergence threat due to rising sea levels by 2050. We have to limit the planet's temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius in order to save our children from a probable calamity. Just relying on governments and NGOs is not going to help. What matters is what and how we do it. It's simple. Don't be stressed. Just start today from your home, one step at a time. Will you?
Yes.
Thank you.